This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, online at madeformoreliving.com.
All right, so far we've talked about, is a home a good investment? Johnny?
Yes, if you're going to be in it longer than 7 years.
Secondly, we talked about mistakes people make before buying a home.
Moving too fast and liquidating retirement accounts.
All right, in this segment, we want to talk about things. You've got the keys, you're in the house, you furnished it, now you're ready to move in, things you should do after buying a home.
So either during the home buying process or right after buying it, you need to have a trust. Trad, what's a trust?
So a trust is a piece of estate planning. So it's just a part of your life that you are organizing on paper so that in the event you and your spouse were to pass, someone else can step in and manage all of your stuff, close out your financial life, and so things aren't just left in an open pending status because, sadly, you're not around anymore.
You're not around anymore, and it costs money. If you have a trust, you skip the probate process.
In almost all cases. It really depends on how things are structured, but when they're done right, when things are done proper, you get to avoid that probate process, which if you've never gone through, it's closing out the estate of someone who's passed away that, unfortunately, in California, you can hear that it's drug out for years.
Yep. So we just closed on a property. Actually, I think it might be closing today. Helped a family sell a piece of property, and the courts have to approve that the purchase price. Like, it cannot go below a certain purchase price. And what had happened in this specific instance is there was a bunch of equipment on the property. There was some land involved, and when you're buying a piece of property, just keep in mind that contract is for the real property. It's for the real estate. It's not for the jacuzzi. It should not include the broken down cars or the tractors or the scissor lift or whatever else. Like, that's personal property. It's not real estate. But they had included in this contract some personal property, and it was ambiguous. And so what had happened is the sellers who were managing this estate did not realize that the buyer thought that some of this stuff that they had sold off during escrow was what he wanted. So they got in a big hullabaloo about it, and it came down to, hey, we can't lower the price anymore because then we'll have to go back to the court and go through that process again. And so if that had been in a trust, it would have been a much easier conversation. But because it wasn't, they had to wait. It takes, I think somewhere between 6 to 12 months to go through the probate process. And then they can begin the process of selling the home. They would have had to begin the whole court process again, or at least amend some of the court processes to do that. And there's costs with going through probate. It's not free. The judges don't work for free. The courts aren't there for your benefit. Like, they're there for your benefit, but not for free. And so it can save the estate a whole lot of money and a whole lot of heartache by having that trust. And so if you had a trust before buying that home and the trust was not, or the home was not a part of that original trust, then you need to do an amendment, or is it an addendum, or what's it called?
There's a few different ways you can actually do this. And so an amendment is a great way to make a change for something like, we have another child, and so we need to add another beneficiary into this trust. But for something like a piece of property, it's very easy just to go down to the county clerk's office, and you're going to make a change just via some paperwork. So if you have an existing trust, that's super easy.
Okay. And then if you don't have a trust, what's that process look like?
Easier than people think.
It is?
It is always overestimate that it's going to be something that's extremely expensive or extremely complicated, or I don't need a trust because I don't have that much. I just have a house or some assets or a little bit of cash. But at the end of the day, it's helpful to be protective because you're thinking about the future. You're thinking about your family. So setting that up, and I always go back to the 3 questions. Do you have minor children? Are you married? Do you own a home? Those kind of all go together. But then do you have assets that are outside of retirement accounts? So a general investing account, or I've got some mutual funds, or I own some shares of stock, or I've got a pile of cash at the bank. All of those are not qualified. All those are outside retirement, all of which is subject to probate.
Oh, man.
And so having a trust can be super helpful in that example that, I've got a house, got a little bit of money in my emergency fund, got some mutual fund investing over here for buying my next car, and I've got 2 minor kids at home. You are someone that needs a living trust.
Yep. But a lot of people are worried about the costs. Like, in your professional estimation, what do trusts typically cost?
They can vary so widely, and it depends on where you go. And so you go to a great, well-known law practice, you might be paying $5,000.
Is there a benefit to going to a great law practice versus another option?
Yeah, if you've got a net worth of north of $20 million, you might need to go to someone who's very specific in that area.
$5,000.
Most of us don't fall into that category, and so it's not actually that necessary.
Hashtag goals.
There we go. They're going to structure things out differently for those higher net worth individuals. For the average person going through the trust process, it can be very specific and tailored to you, but it doesn't have to go through the high-end law firm. Someone who's just qualified to put those things together that still are legal experts can be a lot more cost-effective.
So what's cost-effective look like? Like if your average person or family was to go out and get a trust, what could they expect to spend?
You could expect to spend anywhere between $1,000 and $5,000, where I see most folks coming through needing a trust because we help them with that, including the cost of helping them fund it, meaning putting the piece of real estate into a trust, is $1,700.
$1,700.
And so that's a lot more expensive than $5,000, but it's also a lot less than most people estimate it to be.
And would Dave Ramsey put that on a credit card? Can you fund it with a credit card?
Dave Ramsey would not put that on a credit card. It can be done, but it's not recommended.
Okay, so $1,700. So when you're buying a home, or if you're going through life, just be budgeting. Hey, $1,500, $1,700, somewhere around there is what it would cost me to protect my family, protect these assets, and keep the government from coming in and taking their piece of it.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And so that's one mistake people make, is they don't have a trust. Another mistake people make, kind of in the same vein, is life insurance. You and I were talking about this before we started recording, and I thought you needed just like a couple times of your income, like 2, maybe 3 times your income in life insurance coverage. What is it? What's recommended?
So the recommendation, and it depends on where you're getting your information from, because you threw out the name Dave Ramsey. We'll keep it in that same light.
All right.
And a lot of the practices that we teach are all aligned with his principles anyways.
Yeah.
So that recommendation looks like 10 to 12 times your income. Yep.
12? So if you're making, for easy math, $100,000 a year, gross, you should have $1 million to 1.2 in coverage?
You got it.
Oh my gosh.
Which seems like a lot, but it depends on, again, where you're at in life. You're in your mid-30s, you're healthy, and you're getting the right type of insurance, because there's a lot of different types. Making sure you're getting term insurance for an appropriate length of term that fits you, it can be incredibly cheap.
Yeah. So what would a $1 million policy cost for somebody in their mid-30s, a dude? Because I think we're more expensive.
I would have to price that out, but if I was just to guess off the top of my head, probably like $35-$40 a month.
Oh wow, that's not as bad as people expect.
So some employers do cover part of your life insurance, correct?
Correct. And so a lot of employers will offer a certain multiple to that too. So they'll say, here's your salary, you get 1x or 2x. And that is a great benefit to have. The downside there is you're healthy when you start, you get that insurance, you never get more insurance elsewhere. Then you get diagnosed, something happens, you no longer qualify for a new policy. You leave that employer, now you have no life insurance. Or you're let go, now you have no life insurance. And so it's wise to consider outside sources, A, because they can often be underfunded for what you actually need, but 2, they might go away faster than what you actually need in your plan.
And so what this all has to do with being a homeowner, and why this ties into real estate, is imagine you lose one of the incomes, right? Or the primary income earner, or just one of the incomes disappears. Man, that is such a stressful situation, because you probably got qualified on both incomes. And now that's been reduced by whatever amount. And now not only are you dealing with the loss of somebody, and if you have kids, caring for these kids alone, but now you have to deal with, how am I going to pay my mortgage?
Yep.
And so for essentially what we're hearing right now is roughly $40 a month. If you're in your mid-30s, again, price it out, talk to your financial advisor, talk to Chad with Thrive Stewardship, but $40 a month can get you, $1 million bucks.
Yeah. And what you're talking about there is not life insurance. We can't insure against our lives. When we go, it's time to go.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about there is income replacement. And so if I was to pass away today, I know that my wife, Christy, is not going to be left in a financial burden. She's going to have enough money to continue life as if I were still here, even though she's heartbroken, I hope, that I'm gone. She's at least financially taken care of.
Totally makes sense. And there's just so many stories. Like we helped this family, and the husband passed. Like I'm dealing with, it seems like almost every appointment I go on right now, either the husband or the wife has passed. And it is such a heart-wrenching thing, because we all know it's going to happen. Somebody's going to, we don't live forever. Well, the two things are guaranteed to life, or death and taxes. And unfortunately, my wife's name is Valerie. Valerie's not going to last forever. But I go into these living rooms, and there's just papers everywhere. You can just see the dark circles under their eyes, and they're stressed, and they're like, hey, I need to sell the house because I cannot afford it anymore.
Yep.
And unfortunately, depending on the person's circumstance, this wasn't necessarily a surprise, but they couldn't get the life insurance because the person was now sick. They may have had cancer. They may have just had some other illness, and now they realize, crap, we're in this bad financial situation, but we can't get the life insurance because we weren't proactive about it. And then they rack up credit card bills. The person can no longer work. And so they've taken out first, second, thirds on the home, and now they need to sell the home and they have nothing left. And that's just, not only do you not have a home anymore, but now you no longer have a spouse. Man, that is a tough thing to walk into.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. All right, well, you're listening to Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings. Coming up in our next segment, full service versus discount brokerages. Okay, so maybe you're not a big football fan. Maybe you don't care about the 49ers, but you can't ignore the fact that there's a lot of football going on this time of year. And it made me think about what the role of a quarterback is, someone who leads the team, makes the decisions. And it's very similar to what my friend Johnny Jennings does with the Tom Daves team. I mean, they are like the quarterback when it comes to selling your home. They've helped many of our listeners, including Alan and Mary, who wanted to sell their home in Roseville so they can move to Washington to be closer to their family. The challenge was their current home needed repairs and they didn't have the cash to make that happen. Guess what? Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team were able to help the couple make those repairs with no upfront costs, which resulted in a quick sale for a record amount. And they would love to help your family as well. Go to tomdaves.com right now. Find out what kind of offers you would get on your home, no matter what kind of condition it's in. Again, tomdaves.com, or you can call them up 855-TOM-DAVES. License number 581837.